Hello everyone, this is Freddy, and once again I'm here to welcome you all my English palace. Well, dear students, today in this video I'm gonna discuss with you a very important question and important factor that moves around you when you start learning spoken English. The special case happens over there when somebody is there to initiate the learning spoken language. It's only that when the day will come, I'll communicate like native speaker. So everybody dream for speaking communications. Everybody have a different dream to communicate like native speaker. Everyone wants to make their English communication so attractive. Well, today in this video, I'm gonna fix all these problems of yours to make your English communication so attractive, lucrative, and more professional. Let's get started. And for that you need to watch this video till the end, because today in this video I'm gonna share with you only the three important tips that will help you enough to make your communication so professional, fluent, and lucrative. And I'm damn sure about that when you are gonna use and practice all these tips in your daily routine, I'm damn sure about that you will never know about the results that you will have. And let's get started for today's sessions. Tips number one, it's contractions of the word. The word contraction comes in their mind, means we have to shrink the word pronunciation. Contraction, especially there are different words to pronounce in English. So when you're gonna listen some foreigners and some native speakers, they are gonna pronounce the word differently when non-native speaker pronounce the same word. For example, I have the word forgot. If a native speaker speak this word, talk about like forgot. A non-native speaker can speak like I have forgot. So kind of words that sounds a bit of different when you're gonna change and analyze the pronunciation, not native speaker and native speaker. Okay, so there are different factors we can go through to learn about these things. So here I'm going to tell you of some of the important, contractions. So especially there are different words we need to go further study for their contractions. So, but especially I'm telling you, when you are really willing to learn speaking like native speaker, passionate about your communications, if you're going to change only the helping words, auxiliary verbs, I'm talking about the auxiliary verbs. If you're going to change only the voice contractions of auxiliary verb, that will really enough for you to change your communication. So here we go, because I feel that I'll write and then you will try to find the changes in the pronunciation that I'm going to pronounce in different words. So I can talk about the tips. Number one, it's contractions. What we have to talk about, the contractions of the word. We have to contract the word pronunciations. Especially, let me tell you one thing. Here's an example of a sentence like, let me tell you. Okay, here it's like comma. I have, it's forgotten the thing that, or we can say like which you have told me yesterday. Okay, so when I'm not using contractions, so I'm gonna pronounce these words differently, like let me tell you, I have forgotten the thing which you have told me yesterday. Okay, but if I'm pronouncing the word with using contractions of helping verbs, like simply I can use this one, or I can talk about, if I'll read and repeat this, it's like let, is le. Okay, let me tell you. It's only for the pronunciation I'm gonna tell you. It's not like we guys talk about let. It's only to understand what is the pronunciation. Let can be pronounced like le. Let me tell you. Try to understand. And you can analyze the differences. Let me tell you. It's like I have. So we can contract. Now you can read and you can find such kind of words in your newspaper or your words, books and novels as well also. So I have, it's like have, and here I have like this one, I can write forgotten. I don't need to repeat like forgotten, it's wrong, it's forgotten. Okay, it's like the same thing. That one is the same. I've told you that first of all you need to learn the contractions of the helping verbs. Especially I've met many students, they told me and they complain, sir, native speaker don't use helping verbs. No, without helping verbs the conditions and the actions form is not clear, so they use helping verbs but they use only the contraction of the word. What I can say, I have can be written right now like this. I can write this one, it can be written like this. Okay, I think it's very clear for you. Invisible, if it is not visible I'll write this, you can read on the screen. Okay, so I'll read this one again. Like, let me tell you, I've forgotten the thing which you have told me yesterday, which you have. What I did, I changed the pronunciation. I've, I can talk about I've, or it's like I've, it's like you've. What I did, I'm gonna write in Hindi because you guys can really understand well. It's I've, you've, let me. It's let me, that comes like let me tell you. So kind of changes are there you can find in the native speaker English and non-native speaker English. Okay, so only the changes about contractions. Here I didn't use contractions, here I used contractions. So I'm telling you, first of all you need to understand what is the voice contractions. With the voice contraction you can learn differently the learning about spoken English, and that really change a lot. And I'm telling you, I'm damn sure when you're going to use all these changes in your communication you'll find different, and people will start noticing you, interrupting you about your communications. Okay, so there are many words. So simply if I'll talk about, I'll say so there are some helping verbs, like you can talk about has. Okay, it's like have, it's like had, alright, would. So I try to discuss only the three ones, okay, the four ones. For all the helping verbs I'll make my separate video to make you clear about contractions of helping verbs, but in this video I'll discuss only the four ones. For examples, like if I'll write this one, how will I write? It's like his, I can talk about his. Okay, here I can write like this, his. Here I can talk it's like of, it's of. Here I can talk like this. You can find that for had and for would there is simple D. Okay, so what you have to do, if I'm gonna repeat, like if you find ID in third form is there, then you can say it can be pronounced like ad, but when there is only the first form of the word it can be pronounced like would. Okay, would. Like I would perform there tomorrow on the stage because I know I need to perform over there. And I'd met your brother at what I did. I'd met your brother. Here I can say I'd met your brother last year. Okay, I'd met your brother last year. Okay, I'd met your brother. It's gone there. What is it? It's gone there. It's gone there. Okay, so if I'll talk about like I would meet your brother, I would meet him, or I'd meet your brother. I can take like this. I would meet your brother at the party tomorrow. Okay, so you can say, and you look at that, you can find the changes in the pronunciation when you are using the contractions of helping verbs, which can be known as auxiliary verb. Contractions of helping verbs. It's really amazing, and that will change your communication thoroughly. And I'm telling you, you'll find different changes. You'll be enjoying learning kind of words are there when you guys. So don't worry. Now you can practice only the four words. There are different words we can talk about. It's like for examples, like we guys are using different helping verbs. Like cannot can be pronounced like can't. Could not, it's couldn't. Couldn't, and it can be exactly pronounced like couldn't. Did not, didn't. Do not, don't. Does not, doesn't. Kind of words are there. So I'll write in the descriptions, and then you can read from there. That will really helpful for you to understand about contractions of the helping verb. So now the turn for the tips number 2. Tips number 2, it's like we have to understand, we have to choose a simple and very easy tongue twister. Tips number 2 is tongue twister. So we have to pick any tongue twister from the Google. If you don't have, I'll write it. If you will type on the Google tongue twister, you will find there are thousands of tongue twisters that will help you to understand how will you change your communication. I'm telling you about that tongue twister. Reading about the tongue twister is like fun learning. When you're gonna read a single tongue twister at the very first stage, you'll find some problem to pronounce it. But when you're gonna make it, by heart, I'm telling you, and I'm sure that will make you fun learning. It's really enjoyable also there. So here we talk about. I'll write and I'll try to clear single and single pronunciation of single words. Like simply, I can write over there in the bird, which is okay. So here we have the 3 words. This is 2, and this one is 2. And this one is also the 2. So do you know about it? There is a huge difference in their pronunciations. If I write in the Hindi, I can write it's 2, and this one is 2, and this one is 2. But when you want to use your tele-conversation, you guys forget all these uses. Like you mix up all these pronunciations. So what do you have to do? You have to clarify and make an announcement to know about the exact pronunciation of these ones. For these ones, we have very interesting tongue twister. Tips number 2 is use tongue twister. Okay, we guys have to use tongue twister. Okay, so here we have very amazing tongue twister. It's like tiny traveler takes 22 seconds to tie 2 tired tigers to 2 tall trees. Okay, here we go. Next line. How long does it take Tiny to tie 2 tired tigers to 2 tall trees? Okay, you guys can repeat it truly by heart. But I really tried a lot, and after I got it, and I got a kind of flow and lyrics, and I'm telling you, when I was practicing it, I came to know about a different factor, which is lyrics. So you understand that lyrics really work. Voice modulation lyrics works a lot in changing accents. Simply I can read it. Tiny turtle takes 22 seconds to tie 2 tired tigers to 2 tall trees. How long does it take Tiny to tie 2 tired tigers to 2 tall trees? You can repeat it thousands times. I'm telling you, when you're gonna read very first time, you'll find a lot of problems. When you're gonna read indifferently 20 times, you'll find different changes. You can say a tiny turtle takes 22 seconds to tie 2 tired tigers to 2 tall trees. How long does it take Tiny to tie 2 tired tigers to 2 tall trees? I loved it to repeat it again and again, because at every moment I try to change my voice accent, my voice modulations, and I try to change the different facial gestures as well also. So you understand, you might have watched the movies, there you can find foreigners and native speakers use different voice gestures, voice modulations that make their communication so attractive. So we guys here to learn communications. We don't need to go through some written part of our learning. We have to learn the exact communication. So in the communication, your voice gesture, your facial facial expression, your gestures works a lot over there. So here we go for the tips number 3. Tips number 3, it's like we have to talk about be an active listener. We have to be an active listener. What do you mean by active listener? Be an active listener. That means if I'll talk about an active listener, I'll just say simply, and I can talk about, if I talk about an active listener, here I can say tips number 3, it's be an active listener. An active listener works what? You know what? When you're gonna listen, when you're gonna watch movie, what happens over there? You guys are watching movies, you're gonna listen and read some subtitles with their English. But I'm damn sure when you're gonna use your language and when you are watching movies, or watching videos there and using different voice gesture, and when you're going to use different things over there, and when you listen their facial facial expression, when you're going to listen about the different factor, that will works a lot. But I'm telling you one thing, especially tips number third works only in the case when you are listening consistently their languages. So for example, I'll give the examples. When we are a native speaker of any language, if I talk about Hindi or any mother tongue, so when we were the kid, initially nobody was there who could tell us about our mother tongue, and we started learning the mother tongue. Nobody knows when we started. There was nobody who could tell you with the notebook, with notepad, or having some grammatical thing to tell you that if you want to learn about language or your mother tongue, for that you need to work for that things. And I'm telling you, a newborn baby doesn't know about a newborn baby. When it comes to talk about it, he's over there for 1 year or 2 years. He automatically start their mother tongue. So I'm telling you, there are only the single factors working about their listening. So listening works a lot. When you are an active listener, means there you are gonna constantly listen their pronunciations. I'm gonna tell you. So when you are watching video or watching movies, there if there is only 15 minutes, and within that 15 minutes you are constantly listening exactly, and you are picking their words, how they are pronouncing, and you are using only the single or 2 and 5 words in a day to pronounce it differently. Like I was there, I used to pronounce the "let me tell you," but now when I came to know, it's not "let me tell you," it's "let me tell you." So I found different changes, and I changed and I repeated many times, and I really found that was really amazing for me. So I started talking about, like, let me tell you one thing, let me do that thing, let me handle that thing, so kind of thing. And really that really makes a changes in my communication, and people started noticing me when I was there to start making such kind of changes are there. So thanks for watching this video, because these are only the 3 tips that will help you to make your communication so attractive, lucrative, and professional. And damn sure about, if you're gonna picking a single words for the tongue twister, for voice contractions, be an active listener kind of things you're gonna use in a day-to-day life, damn sure about that, you guys would find a different changes. Okay, so translation is really very important, but it's not as important as listening. The listening plays a great role. When you're gonna listen the thing particularly, you don't need to go for cramming the things, because cram thing can never be known and remember or recognized for the long time. When you're gonna recall the things which is crammed in your tongue star, you can't recall right now. But I'm telling you, you can recall the story of any movie which you have watched 5 or 10 years back. So let me know one thing, it's all about 3 special tips, which is the first one, just recall the things. I'm gonna recall the session. The first one is about contractions, second one is tongue twisters, and third one is be an active listener. We have to work on these tips. When you are working on these 3 tips, I'm damn sure you would be amazing when you're gonna having some conversation with anyone. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you enjoyed my video, and I hope that the thing I wanted to discuss and I wanted to deliver, you got it all. So till I'll be uploading my next video, you'll enjoy learning these things that will make your changes. And if you find some changes, if you find some any other way to improve your English, please write in my comment box, so that I'll try to make some videos on that tips also there. So thank you for watching this video. Bye bye, keep learning and keep enjoying.